exist within the Conservative Party. I mean, they are two completely different parties, and I think they've muddled along for decades, looking on round here and there, obviously. I think Brexit is the thing that highlighted what those fundamental divisions were. And yes, you know, I mean, look, there are people in the Conservative Party that Richard and I feel politically aligned to, but they are in a very small minority. Of the 360 Conservative MPs that were elected in 2019, there's about 50, probably, that would take our view on many things in the world. The rest don't. And that was why, you know, when I went to the Conservative Party conference in Manchester last year, albeit with the GB News badge on, you know, I was hang on a hero of the membership, but most of the MPs sort of walked past and didn't even look at me because I'm so absolutely ghastly. And if as we go forward, we establish this bridgehead in Parliament, and the splits of the Conservative Party become ever wider, and I suspect my presence will perhaps even help to widen those splits, then some of those people that we like will be very, very welcome to come to us. Simple as that.
I've got a new game for you as well, actually. Yeah, if you look at Conservative MPs' leaflets, I want you to try and count up how many times you see the word Conservative. I've looked at half a dozen, and I never got beyond a number of 2, and that was just on the imprint. So it's pretty extraordinary what is going on, how the brand has become so toxic. Let's take a question just here.
Hi, Rob House. Isn't the most realistic way of you becoming leader of the opposition after this election to join the Tories? And could you rule that out?
Boring. No, they're done. The brand's done.
You can rule out joining the Tories if you become MP.
That was very interesting. One of the polls this weekend showed that 25% of 2019 Conservative voters want the party to get 0 seats. This isn't just a sort of change that happens election to election. This is a wholesale rejection by a significant number of Conservative voters who, by the way, if we weren't here, probably wouldn't vote for anybody, would stay at home. They are so disgusted with the political system. They feel absolutely betrayed by the promises that were made in 2019. The Conservative Party will not be in power for a decade, maybe more. And you know, people say to me, look, they've been around for 190 years. But occasionally these big celebrations do happen. It happened in Britain in the 1920s, it happened in Canada in the early 1990s. I think this may well be one of those big 50 or 100-year events that happens even under first past the post politics. And if we were in PR, we'd be talking a very, very different game. So,
thanks for ruling out.
So no, the brand's broken. It's gone. It's done.
Just on the right there, please. Yes.
Thank you. Chloe Chapman from the Iron newspaper. I just wanted to pick up on something that you said in the debate last night about agreeing that the 2-child benefit cap should be scrapped. Should we expect that to be a Reform Party policy, or is that your personal opinion? And obviously that would add to the benefits bill. Are you very comfortable with that? Thank you.
Yeah, look, I just feel, and we feel, that actually support for families is really rather important. We should be encouraging people to have children. We should even, perhaps through the tax system, be encouraging marriage as well. I mean, my own track record on this is not great, I don't know. but despite that, there is very strong evidence that kids that are brought up within a married environment do better in life. So, do we believe as a party in encouragement of the family, the concept of the family, you better be back.
So it would be a policy?
Yes.
Thank you. Harry,
Hello. You say the Tories are divided, that's now, isn't it? You say the Tories are divided, and that's certainly true. But during the next Parliament, the right will have to unite in some way, given the electoral system that we have. So are you confident that the Leader of the Opposition, Nigel Farage, can unite the right against Labour by 2029?
Oh, I think so, yes. And I think people, well, who knows how many Tory MPs are going to be there anyway? The number could be very small. And it was, central southern, and southwest of England. So who's to say how many MPs the Conservatives are even going to have? But look, you know, if the Damien Green and Jeremy Hunt want to go and join the Liberal Democrats, I thought they'd be very, very at home there.
Just to, I guess, gentlemen, just to Chris left.
Hi. Hi, Mr. Farage. Emilio from Politico. The Conservatives are obviously trying to make this election about tax in terms of their dividing line with Labour. They're shouting about the fact that under Labour's plans, the tax burden as a percentage of GDP would rise to 37.4%. But they're being quieter about the fact that under the Conservative plans, it would rise to 36.8%, less than a percentage different. Do you think that that is a Conservative style tax plan? And I know you're launching your manifesto on Monday, or your contract on Monday. Could you give us an idea, at least, of where that kind of number you want it to be if it was a reform tax plan?
I mean, look, this argument that's going on over tax, I've been in two of these debates with Angela Rayner and Penny Morgan. You're going to put taxes up. No, you're going to put taxes up more. It's mindless stuff. And quite how the Conservatives have got front to say we're a low-tax party, having increased the tax burden to the highest level it's been since 1948, is completely and utterly beyond me. The answer is they're both going to put taxes up because they're going to freeze the threshold, and that means dragging in. 40p was top rate from the late 1980s all the way through the Blair years. That was accepted as the top rate of tax. If you earned more money, you paid 40p, and throughout that time, about 1.5 million people paid pretty consistently through that period of time. By the end of 2027, under current plans, 8 million people will be paying 40p tax, and that to me illustrates just what's happened, just where the tax burdens are up. And yet we've got a radical plan, a very radical plan, to reduce the tax burden so that someone who's a staff nurse should not be paying 40p tax. So we up that threshold to 70,000, which strikes us as being realistic, as a place where 40p kicks in. But more significantly, what we'll be unveiling and explaining fully and talking about on Monday, and you're quite right, it's not a manifesto, because the word association with manifesto is lie, so we've got to play that game. It'll be our contract, and it'll be what we're going to campaign for in opposition, the arguments that we're going to make in opposition. We're not pretending we're going to be in government, we're not. Not this time, anyway. So the radical plan is to raise the level at which people start paying tax to £20,000 a year. It'll be a massive simplification of the tax system. It will take many, many pensioners who, if they've got small private incomes, are now being dragged into the tax system, out of the tax system. It'll take a total of 7 million people completely out of tax. It'll be fewer civil servants, isn't that good? But it'll also, more significantly, genuinely give those on benefits the incentive to go to work. I think sometimes we talk about people on benefits, and perhaps people use a slightly pejorative term about those on benefits, but actually many are trapped, completely trapped. They go back to work, they work more than 16 hours, they start to lose in tax what they're gaining, they may as well just stay on benefits. This is a real way to get people back to work, and if we do that, and succeed with that, which we think understanding human nature, as we believe we do, it will, that means less reliance on unskilled, cheap, foreign labour. Now I know the big employers will scream and shout because they become addicted to cheap foreign labour, but I think what we've got to say on that is actually radical and genuinely interesting, and we will outline all of
Only yesterday, I mean, it really is a very serious issue. I had 2 pensioners yesterday say, you give with the one hand where pensions go up, but all of a sudden it's all gone in tax. And so what's the point? It's a massive, massive issue.
Thanks very much. Harry Wilson, ITV News. I'll stand up under restriction. This is clearly a moment for your campaign. Are you ready to take advantage of this? Do you know where these voters are? Are you able to get your supporters out on the following day? Is your party in a state to capitalise on this moment?
It's a very good question. Not really. No, I mean, look, we're not as organised and has developed some of the Liberal Democrats. They are very, very good at their ground game. They've got a network of councillors. They've built up across the country. We're honest with you. We admit we're not in that position. So the way that we do it, and it's back really to Chris Hope's question right at the very beginning, the only way we can do this is we have to get the total number of votes well up over that 6 million figure, and if we do that, we will start to break through and see. So is there a ground game for us? Yes. Are people now coming forward enthusiastically to help us? Yes. Are people coming forwards and giving us 25 quid or more to join the party or support the party? Yes. Money is flowing in through the door, support and help is coming in. Look, I would love 6 months of this. I would love 6 months of this. We haven't got 6 months, we've got 3 more weeks. We're making the best of what we can, but I do think there's a very, very big gap in the electoral market down there. If none of the above was on the voting paper, quite a lot of people would be tempted by that. I also think what we'll do is we'll bring people out to vote who the other parties can't reach anyway, because they would have been non-voters before. And a significant chunk of our vote already are people who otherwise would not vote. So, are we fully in a position to capitalise on this? No. But are we doing our best as we go? Yes. If we can if we can win that really big, mass audience, I think we'll surprise even ourselves in how we see it. Look, it's an effort. Of course it is. Everything an election is. But I do think momentum and training is worth.
It's actually one of the saddest things you hear on the laws where people say it's not worth it, it won't make a difference. This time round, actually, I think there is a sense of belief that it can make a difference, that it's a journey. It just feels very, very, very different to before. Yes, gentlemen, what's there?
Thank you very much. Jochen Wittmer, German News Weekly, Die Zeit. Mrs. Farage, you would allow a question from the German perspective. As you know, there is a similar party in Germany which manages to tap into the pool of disenfranchised voters who have left the Conservative Party and also the Social Democratic Party. Now this party, the AfD, they have also grown very quickly, and they ran into the problem that a number of their candidates held views that were quite damaging to the party. So how do you want to prevent running into a similar problem?
No, it's a good question. I mean, the AfD, I knew the founders of the AfD, and I saw them in the European Parliament. It was actually founded by academics who were really worried about Germany's place in Europe, and that was the main thing. Yeah, look, they've had some real problems in the AfD, not at grassroots level, but at quite senior elected level, out in the out in some of the land. All I can tell you is this: in my previous incarnation as leader of the UK, I have an absolute rule that nobody who's ever been part of the British National Party or an organisation like that would even be a member of the party, let alone the candidate. I'm absolutely ruthless about that. And I think because I did that, I would honestly say to you, I did more to destroy the British National Party as an electoral force in Britain than absolutely anybody else. And the same thing applies this time. And of course, because it's been a very rapidly called election, and because 450 of our candidates have never stood before, they're not sophisticated politicos, they will have liked things on Facebook with links to somebody else. It doesn't make them extreme right or far right. I don't want support for people like that. I've never had the support of working with people like that. I never will support people like that. I'm acutely aware of the problem. We are in a better place with that than the AfD. That I have no doubt. And yes, of course, we're going to have our problems with candidates, as every party is with a very, very rushed election. But it's funny, really, that even though there were 651 seats up for grabs in the Commons, in most of the United Kingdom, there are really only 3 names people are going to vote for. They're going to vote for Sunak, Starmer, or Farage, and that's the reality.
Hi, Sophie Huston from the Daily Mirror. So lots of people obviously got to see you again on I'm a Celebrity last year.
Lots of it, yeah.
Your former campaign, Fred Sirius, has said that after spending 3 weeks with you in the jungle, he doesn't think that you have a vision, and he thinks that you just rant. What's your response to that?
Jolly good, Fred. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Tom Godfrey from the Sun newspaper. I want to ask you a question that's been put to you in Dover and a question that's been put to you in Clacton, and both times you sort of batted it away rather speculatively. But now, as you say, the inflection point has happened. It might be one you're slightly more happy to answer. And that is, how many seats do you think you can get, or how many seats are you targeting? And if you won't give us a straight number, if the ballot box gods came down from the sky on July 4 and say, Nigel Farage, you can win in Clacton on seat, but that is it, there is one Reform MP of Parliament. Is that a deal you would take, or would you chance your arm with the electorate?
Oh no, if you gave me a chance to never say, will I take Clacton and nothing else, I'd say no. Absolutely not. We will win many more seats than Clacton. How many? Well, perhaps I can be more specific about it. I've literally got no idea. I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
What's your target?
I haven't got a target. I'm travelling optimistically, doing the best I can, building what's going to become a very, very big mass movement over the course of the next 5 years, which we want.
Thanks, Camilla Long, Sunday Times. Nigel, leading on from the last question, are we to take it then that Clacton is not enough for you?
Clacton is not enough. That I would agree with, yes.
What are you going to do for the people of Clacton?
Do what I do and have done for many, many years when I was an MEP. It's quite interesting. If I write a letter to banks or authorities or people with whose constituents have problems, they generally jump up and start to do things. So I do think I can be a champion for local people who've got problems with, they might be running their own business or whatever it is, and I can do that for them. But, you know something? Clacton is at the end of the line. It's the terminus. It can be easily forgotten. And it would be accurate to say, of course, it has had some levelling up money, that's true. But kind of once levelling up money is spent, that's sort of it, really. You get a few pretty new buildings, or whatever it may be. What I would hope to do, not promise, what I would hope to do as a national figure is attract genuine business investment in the constituency. There are parts of that constituency that are genuinely really pretty hard up. You know, cost of living crisis, energy bills, things like that. It's very, very real indeed. And yet, there are 2 or 3 world-class engineering firms operating within that constituency. If I can help showcase that and get more investment for them, I will have done my job as their representative. As I say, it would be foolish of me to guarantee I can do it, but I will damn well try.
Who's still with the number?
Rowena Mason from The Guardian. What number of seats would make you feel happy to wake up having won on election morning? You said Clacton's not enough. If you were to say 10, would you feel happy and satisfied by that? And secondly, has Reform got enough money to buy an election on this sort of nationwide scale? You can see that the major parties, the Tories and Labour, are spending £35 million each.
I said earlier that money was coming in every day in small 25 quids, and we'll raise it. We will raise 2 to 3 million pounds in 25 quids, and that's great. But the real answer to the question, I can be more direct on the second part of the question than the first. The real answer is, right at the moment, we do not have the ammunition that we need, and we're going to need for the establishment counter-attack that I expect to begin from the Labour Party as well, pretty imminently. So, no, we do need to raise money, a lot of money, very, very quickly, and that's something we're going to be focused on very heavily in the course of the next few days. So, yeah, we are the underdogs. We are the underdogs in every sense. And we haven't had much time to really get ready for this election. So we do, our little weakness there, we do need to raise a lot of money and do it very, very quickly indeed. We're trying. We genuinely are trying. How many people make me happy? I refer to the previous answer to the Sun newspaper. I have no idea. We're on a journey, we've got momentum, let's see where it goes.
Good. I think that's it. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you very, very soon.
Thank you very much.